Started this little project without you, but hey, I'm doing it. You may as well tag along, right? Right. Let's fix a Mansfield flush valve. This is so old, I gotta cut it out of here. The seal has become hard like plastic. It's not supposed to be like plastic. There's a piece of it. Put that in a wee trash can. Let's maybe see now. Down here. Ooh, we're out of focus. Boom. Let's see what we can do about that. There we go. That's better. Now you can see I've cut a notch out of it, but there's still a little bit hanging out inside of this part of the ring. So I'm trying to get that blade underneath of there without cutting that. So we don't want to mess up that plastic. And you know what happens to plastic as it ages? It gets brittle. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. This is what that gasket's turned into. Really tough, hard. This is no bueno. No bueno. Let me get that new one and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And this is the flush valve seal that we need because we're working on a Mansfield flush valve seal. That's the part that goes here. So you'll notice a distinct difference between this one and this one. Yeah, this is what it should look like. This is what it shouldn't look like. This one's been in there probably, this is probably original manufactured part, honestly. So we'll take this one, put it down at the bottom. Now I'm not sure if, let's see, there's a lip there. So there's going to be two lips in here. There's one here, and then there's one below it. You want the one on top, if I remember correctly. If not, we'll have me fixing this again here in like 5 seconds. We just kind of work it around. Work it around. Make sure it seats itself into the channel that's around it. Okay. Okay. Now, it was a really old toilet, so I'm trying to be careful because the black rubber one that prevents the water from leaking through into the toilet bowl, I'll show you here. It's kind of losing its integrity a little bit, but I don't really want to replace it. I'll wait till I have a problem because that's me. We'll see here real quick if this takes care of us. All right, so we'll just do this real quick. We'll put everything sort of back the way it goes. Turn on the valves. And we'll watch her fill up. For those of you that never have watched a toilet fill up, this is your fill valve. This is the part that goes down and then connects to the wall where your plumbing is. And when you flush it, it lifts this here bucket up for the Mansfield toilets. Other toilets have essentially what is a straw. So this tube that comes down, and it acts as an overflow in case this never shuts off. It just pours right down into there. But this is an overflow tube. And it also has this little straw that comes off of the fill valve. It's where it pours a little extra water down your jets as it's flushing. So if you've ever sat there and stared at your toilet and after it flushes, you notice a small amount of disturbance in your toilet bowl. That's what water does come through here, okay, as it's filling up. And we live on a well water, so what you see in here is sand and rusty deposit over the years. It's actually not too bad considering it's all well water and unfiltered. I mean, this is years and years of deposit. I mean, we've been here 5 years, and I'm fairly certain this has been here since the house was here. So, see, it looks like it's holding. Oh yeah, my dad took off my float, so I need to turn it off. Sounds like I'm getting a little leak by. Don't know if you can hear that, but I think I'm getting a little bit of leak by on that seal down at the bottom. So I need to probably pull it and move it down one. Let's turn this bad mamma jamma off. Being very careful because it's an old shutoff valve. All right, we'll flush the toilet again. See. Yeah, see, I can hear the leak by. And so it's not flowing over the top, it's leaking. So that means this probably needs to go down one. See a bunching. There we go. Let's test it out now. That's probably enough. Oh yeah, that's better. I didn't actually move it down, I just kind of moved it around. I think that I just had a little pinching in the rubber seal. It's not leaking anymore, so we'll start putting this back together. And I'll turn this off so you guys can watch me do that without having to hear the faucet running. Now, first thing I want to put back on here is this ratty old thing. Not many toilets have these anymore. This here's a genuine float ball. Now you want to be real careful, especially with the older toilet, if you're messing with this this type of thing, because if you can see beyond my left hand, I'm watching carefully that I don't flex that piece of plastic too much that's holding the fill valve together, because I don't feel like changing out a fill valve. They can be a bit of a bear, especially if your shutoff valve doesn't work as well as you think it's supposed to. So if it doesn't shut off all the way and it has some leak by, the one that's down there, with what I'm doing, it doesn't seem to have any leak by. But if it's only a little bit of a dripping, then you just may not notice it when you're doing something like this, because there's a little bit of water in here no matter what, and it's not getting everywhere, so I don't really care to empty it all the way out. But there could just be a little bit that would come through, and the moment you take something like this apart, it usually releases just all of heck, and you end up with doing a whole lot more than you want to, replacing shutoff valves, the fill valve. Sometimes you end up having to do like what I'm doing now. And all this was I needed to get a toilet handle done. I just understand from working in a retail outlet why it is that these handles break for these toilets. A lot of times the Mansfield toilet, it's a great toilet. It's a perfectly awesome toilet until that seal down there gets really old. Then it forms too good of a seal. And then what you end up with is, let's see if I got the old one, is toilet handle that starts to break up here because it's doing too much heavy lifting. It's lifting up a real heavy handle, and it starts to break up here and snap because this has created such a great amount of suction that it holds it taut, really taut. So so it breaks your handles all the time. And I think this is probably a second or third one that I've gone through on this toilet. So I knew that it was time for me to get my butt in here and get to it. Oh, and you're gonna be graced by some sounds of rain. Let me close that window. You're perched in. All right. So, I can also show you that you have to buy a handle for a Mansfield flush valve. And I can show you exactly why. First of all, there's the length. And second of all, the Mansfield flush valve is so stout and heavy duty that these just don't work. So you put that in there and you go to lift the handle, it kicks it off. So even if it didn't kick it off, it would get a ton of flex trying to pull that up. And yeah, this is one that I had bought for something else. So put this all together, see how it works. Go up and over the top, get it in there. Let's get that nut across. Let's get that D loop on before I tighten it down. All All right. All while being somewhat careful so that you don't break any plastic, because old toilets, the older plastic gets, the more brittle it gets, and the more likely you are to break that stuff. Okay. And if you haven't noticed, this toilet handle is in reverse thread. So it looks like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey sometimes, but it's not. All right, see, just like that, she's working, and we'll let her fill up. All right, well, thanks for coming along with me on this adventure. But now, kind of have some business to take care of. See what kind of trouble I can get into tomorrow. Later.